An influencer with 400,000 followers just got paid by a fashion brand. She's never eaten, never slept, never existed. If a fake person can out-engage a real one, who's actually making money off of that? And should you be worried? Should you make an account with Higgsfield AI today and create your own AI influencer? Follow the money, not the hype. And the answer gets obvious pretty fast. Today, I'm breaking down why businesses are drawn to AI influencers and whether or not it's worth it for you to create one.
Money, 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 all I see. Money, money, money.
AI influencers make business sense. They also make a lot of people uncomfortable. Both of those things are true at the same time. Let's start with why brands love them. An AI influencer never gets tired, never misses a deadline, never ages, never gets canceled, speaks every language fluently. It can produce content 24/7 for a fraction of what a human costs. That's a profit and loss improvement for a business. Brands are already swapping human creators for AI personalities on the low cost, high volume stuff, the content nobody was emotionally attached to in the first place. And it seems to be working. The virtual influencer market is sitting roughly around 11 to 12 billion, growing at about 40% a year, depending on which research firm you ask. Some AI generated accounts have racked up hundreds of millions of views in very little time without filming one single real thing. Let's look at two AI influencers that have generated a lot of engagement and a lot of money for people behind the scenes. Meet Aitana Lopez from Barcelona. Pink hair, fitness, fashion content, and she has been 25 years old for 3 years now. She was built by an agency called The Clueless after the founders got tired of human influencers missing deadlines, blowing up over ego, or just no showing on a paid campaign. Depending on the month, she pulls somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 euros from brand deals alone. She has over 400,000 followers on Instagram, and she never has a scheduling conflict. Next, meet Mila Sofia from Finland. Blonde, bikinis, yachts, the whole aesthetic. Her website says it outright. I'm an AI generated virtual influencer. But look at all these thirsty people in the comments. And to be honest, there's no way to really tell if this is despite the disclosure or after reading the disclosure. But I kind of think this is what makes the whole argument. It was never about whether Aitana, Mila, or any other AI influencer were real or not. It's about whether the feeling they gave you is real enough to act on it and maybe even buy a product. There are some studies that have found virtual influencer campaigns generating engagement rates several times higher than comparable human creators. A thing that doesn't exist is outperforming the people who do, at least on the metric that people use to decide who's winning or not. But let's be precise about what that statistic actually says. Engagement rate, not money. Because when you follow the money instead of the likes and the thirsty comments, the story flips. Sponsored posts, the ones that actually pay, often do better with humans, not AI. In categories where trust drives the purchase, like finance or parenting advice, human creators have been shown to out-earn AI personas engagement by up to 2.7 times. One brand campaign ran both side by side. The AI influencer pulled 0.6 engagement. The human creators on the same campaign pulled 3.6%. The honest answer is this. AI wins the scroll. Humans still win the sale. So why does this feel just so damn weird? Because the entire influencer industry was built on one premise. You're following a real person. If the person isn't real, what exactly is the relationship? Consumers are already flagging this. A meaningful share say they're uncomfortable with AI influencers unless it's clearly labeled. Regulators are catching up to this too. Disclosure rules are tightening across the European Union, the United States, and the United Kingdom. The pretend it's human window is closing. Let's talk about the gold rush version of this trend, the one all over your feed.
Build a synthetic avatar, host automated reels, collect brand deals, never show your face.
The infinite passive income glitch. The actual economics are less exciting. The barrier to generating a realistic AI avatar dropped to almost nothing, which means the internet is now flooded with thousands of interchangeable synthetic faces. Platforms are getting better at flagging them, and audiences are getting faster at spotting them. Brands still pay top dollar for trust, not just impressions. The mega AI avatars work as digital mascots. And that's a real business. Your average faceless AI account built off a $50 course usually doesn't convert. There's no human behind it for anyone to actually trust. Which brings us to who's actually making money off this trend right now. It's the platforms selling the tools, the agencies selling the strategy, and the creators selling courses on how to build your own AI influencer. Familiar pattern, right? Software companies selling the generation tools, cloud providers renting out the GPU time to run them, talent agencies now managing virtual influencers the way they used to manage humans, and brands are cutting down production budgets because a synthetic ad doesn't need to fly a hotel or a whole crew. Follow the money past the avatar and it lands somewhere much more boring and much more profitable, but not really for you. Now, the answer to the question I asked at the beginning of this video. Is it worth it for you to start an AI influencer page? Let's look at it this way. The AI influencers that actually make money, like Aitana or the handful of names that show up in every article, aren't one person with a laptop and a $30 a month tool. They're agencies, design teams, brand relationships built over years, and a production pipeline most solo creators don't have and won't build by picking a template avatar. Meanwhile, the actual tool you'd be buying, thousands of other people bought the same one. Same avatar library, same templates, same generic voiceover options. You're not launching a virtual influencer, you're launching one more anonymous face in a library everyone else is also drawing from. Here's my answer on this. If you're trying to build an audience, an AI avatar doesn't give you an edge. It deletes the one thing you already had: your face, your voice, your specific take, the stuff that actually is hard to copy. The tool isn't the business. The agency behind it is the business. Buying the tool doesn't make you the agency. Will you have to compete with AI influencers either way? Yes, at this point, it's unavoidable. But the competition isn't become one of them. It's be specific enough with your content that they can't become a cheap version of you. You can utilize AI tools for your content creation. AI should be the co-pilot: ideas, sentiment analysis, editing, thumbnail testing, but you are the anchor, the perspective, the lived experience, the real voice nobody else has. That's the hybrid model. That's the one with a shelf life. Think of it like this. If your content is aesthetic photos, lip syncs, or generic, here's a product I like, AI can already do all that. You are functionally competing with a machine that doesn't need to sleep. If your content is built on being genuinely funny, having lived through something in particular, telling a story only you could tell, that's much harder to manufacture convincingly. AI didn't suddenly make authenticity valuable, it made imitation cheap. When imitation becomes free, originality becomes expensive. Ironically, the rise of AI influencers might be the thing that pushes social media back toward what humans are actually good at: personality. People will double tap a striking synthetic image out of curiosity. Curiosity earns the first click. Loyalty, however, is much harder to automate. That's still built the old way. It needs a real voice, a real point of view, and enough consistency that someone starts to trust you. That part, AI still can't fake its way into. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video.